innovative financing to improving the education sector in DR Congo has suffered from decades of conflict in the sense that they have had political crisis, they have had economic crisis, they have had civil unrest, and this has affected several sectors in the country. One of the sectors that was affected is the education sector, in that schools were burnt down, institutions were destroyed, furniture destroyed, and even the students were recruited as child soldiers. This has not gone well with the education sector. As a result, a lot of children are out of school and there are limited facilities for education. 35,915 primary schools, 10 million plus students. That's good for education. We'll be focusing on the North and the South Kivu. Not that these places are more important, but because 42% of children in this province have never been to school. While we focus on this area, we will also tackle every province in the country. What efforts have been made so far in reforming the education sector? The government has instituted free primary education since 2010. The international organizations such as the UNICEF, the USAID have also come in with some programs such as the EAC, that is Educate a Child, equitable quality primary education for all children. All these programs are targeted to giving the children, to giving the youth better quality education. Has these programs really helped? They have helped to some extent. But despite this effort, there are still some challenges that are persisting in DR Congo. 25% primary school age children are still out of school. 60% adolescents are out of school as well. Then there are shortage of teachers. The teachers are said to be one teacher to 37 students. This is for places that are not marginalized. For the marginalized provinces, we are said to have as much as one teacher to 100 students. This is not good for education. The teachers are also not encouraged in that they have inadequate incentive. They are also not trained enough. There is also mismanagement of the sector in the ministries in the public sector. There is absenteeism. There is lack of interest in the work, making the education sector to be mismanaged. There is also underfunding by the public sector. About 2.5% of the budget goes to education. This is very low if we are to achieve a better education. There is also uncertainty from donors. Donors that normally bring grants into the country are withdrawing their grants, so we do not really know which donors that will be bringing in grants or not. Therefore, these donors cannot be depended on. There is also limited results. What do I mean by limited results? It means all this effort that have been put in place, how actually has it impacted into the realization of the SDGs? Students that have been trained in school, how productive have they become? These are the questions to ask. Looking at all these challenges, one would think that investors would have spotted opportunities to come in and invest in, but they have not been able to do so because of fragility. The country is fragile. The democracy in the country is fragile. There's also uncertainty of stability. Policies can change at any time. Corruption. There are no regulatory institutions that can monitor and spot out corruption. So corruption can actually go on for a very long period of time without being spotted out. There's also lack of results as mentioned earlier. How are these children that are being trained in school, how are they being productive in the realization of SDGs? Moving forward, we can actually finance the education sector through the following. The corporate bodies can invest in the education of qualified students. I call this sponsorship and mentorship. What do I mean by this? It means the corporate bodies will identify students with potentials, invest in their education to the highest level, and then mentor them until they become established in their own companies or any other field of their choice. Now, these corporate bodies will take up equity shares in these future companies. These students These beneficiaries who have been so trained will also replicate same by identifying other students and also training and mentoring them until they are established. Another way is for the MDGs to catalyze partnership with the government to build specialized schools. What specialized schools? These are schools that are specialized in the realization of SDGs. Example, School of Agriculture will target the realization of the SDG goals as it relates to agriculture. Same goes for legal studies. Same goes for School of Engineering. This School of Engineering will target how to build the infrastructure that is needed in the country. This is what I call result-based education. The existing schools will also reform their curriculum so that the SDGs will be incorporated in the curriculum. What do I mean by this? If you are learning medicine, you should be able to find means and ways of reducing maternal and child mortality. Whatever course you are learning in your school, you should be able to know how to use it to realize SDGs. What are the gains for the government? The government would have solved 90% of this problem by removing unemployable youth out of the street. The ripple effect, these beneficiaries who are being trained, who will in turn also train others, will make the youth of the country to be productive. The corporate bodies will also be expanding their revenue base through the equity share we'll be having in these companies. What are the outcomes? This beneficiary will not just be employable, but they will also become employers of labor, better leaders and governors. There will be reduction of crime, there will be higher respect for human rights, improved health system, mechanized and large scale SDGs. Moving forward, we can actually finance the education sector through the following. The corporate bodies can invest in change. Conclusion. Together we can achieve the SDGs through a better education. Education is powerful. Information is key. Once we get a reformed education, it will serve as a platform for teaching how to realize the SDGs. Thank you.